What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? It is the Tuesday edition of the Angela Ray Show. I hope that you all have had a great day thus far. Whenever you get onto the broadcast, be sure to chime in the comments. Let me know where you are watching from. A shout out to everyone who'll be catching the interview tonight on the replay. Very thankful for all of my replay viewers. Again, also, whenever you get on, go ahead and share this broadcast with your friends and or your followers. I'm going to give you all just a moment or two to get on, and then we'll get started with our Ray of Motivation moment. Okay, we're going to go ahead this evening with our Ray of Motivation moment. And our Ray of Motivation moment tonight. Oh, I see that. Guess we're there's a little bit of delay. No way that um, E-Man. Okay, I did not know. Small, small world. And congratulations to you, Emmanuel. Welcome to the divine. Small, small world. And Len will be on momentarily. All right, so for our Ray of Motivation moment for then friends, how many of us have them? Okay, that's not original. If you are a hip hop head like I am, you know that that is one of the lines from Houdini's song Fest of a worldwide and global pandemic. I think as many of us are friends. I know that so many people, emotionally draining time for many people, others very often than not, reaching out and giving that which you desire, an email, even maybe a drive-by visit. We definitely want to keep someone else's day, but actually make your definitely reap what you sow. So when you are so at the end of the day, those are the things that I have found people in my circle to say are most important during this time. Yes, jobs are important enough to eat because that is some people's journey right now. That's their testimony. That is their struggle is important, but it's also important to remain connected and to be a good friend. And that's your Ray of Motivation moment for this Tuesday edition of the Angela Ray Show. Right about now, it is time for me to bring on my guest for tonight. He is the founder of the Peachtree Village International Film Festival, which happens in Atlanta, Georgia. In addition, he is the producer of nearly 20 films and has also done some directing too. Please help me welcome Len Gibson. Len, how are you tonight? I'm trying to see if I can you speak a little bit, Lynn? Is your audio connected? Because I don't think I heard you. Yeah, I'm not hearing you, and it's interesting because before we went live, I know your audio was fine. We did our test. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna bring you out. I'm gonna take you out of the broadcast and bring you back in and see if that makes a so that we can make, because we want to hear everything that this very talented gentleman has to say. All right, we're gonna try that again. Hey, Cassandra Jalla, so glad you could be on the broadcast tonight. Are you talking, Lynn? Yep. Okay, so we can't hear you. So, Lynn, do me a favor. I'm going to actually ask you to manually on your end go out of the broadcast and come back in, and we'll see if that alleviates the audio issues that we're having right now. And once you go off, I'll bring you back in. So, technical difficulties, it happens, and we'll bring him right back on again. Just to tell you a little bit of information about Lynn and the Peachtree Village International Film Festival. It started several years ago. He rebranded it in 2009, and the festival has honored so many legends in film and television over the years. It's a multiple day event in the Atlanta area, and it ends with a very nice award ceremony. So I don't know. We're going to find out tonight. I don't know if it's going to happen virtually this year or in person, but you definitely want to put that one on your calendar to attend, because it's a great way to network, to meet filmmakers, other people in the industry, as well as support independent filmmaking, because there are a lot of independent filmmakers who attend the festival. So that is actually a great way for those who may be interested, not so much as in being a filmmaker, but just interested in supporting the arts, as well as interested in being in entertainment. Okay, I can hear myself, so I think I'll be able to hear you now, Lynn.
Can you hear me? Is it okay?
We're good. We are golden.
Cool.
So while I was waiting for you to get back in, I was telling everyone a little bit more information about the Peachtree Village International Film Festival, specifically about attending in person. But I also was wondering if you've decided yet if it's going to be a virtual event this year or not, or are you still kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with the pandemic?
You know what? It will be virtual this year.
Okay,
So we have an exciting lineup that's being developed, but we'll all be online this year for sure.
cool. And so I guess that goes right into my first question, which that I was going to ask, which is, what have you been doing during this time of social distancing?
Wow. You know what? It's interesting. During this time, I've probably been more busy than I have been in the past 3 years. During quarantine, basically. So
Hmm.
it's been exciting. I mean, obviously horrible in terms of what's going on, in the world today. But, for me, from a business standpoint, it's
Hmm.
been fantastic. Been working long hours, a little different, working at home every day, not going into the
Right.
office,
Uh-huh.
not meeting, people face to face, but definitely been really, really, really busy. I think during this time period, we produced 3 films, and we have a few more coming out this year. So we're really excited. It's been great.
Awesome. So you produced what, close to 20 films? If you mentioned three, that you're probably over 20 at this point. How did you get your start in entertainment?
It's always been a passion. I mean, since since a teenager, I had a love for media and moving images. Started off as a writer, but it's always been a passion. And in undergrad at High Point University in your state, North Carolina, um, digging into more media. At that time it was broadcast journalism, and then from there, video production. I just fell in love with film and been doing it ever since. So, been in the business now for 22 years.
Amazing. Now, you've worked with what some might call Hollywood royalty, and you've definitely built quite a few relationships. How were you able to make those kinds of connections happen without the backing of a studio, I might add?
It's really just working hard and honing in on every relationship, every person I meet. From the janitor to the CEO. Treat everybody the same. And what happened was when I'm able to meet someone that could be an intern today, they may be a director tomorrow. You never know. And people
Right.
remember, how you treat them. And I try to keep in touch with everyone. I keep everyone in touch with what I'm doing, as a filmmaker. And a lot of people open doors. I've been blessed. That's all I can say. But that's one of my things is building relationships and keeping them. So it's been exciting, great journey so far.
Well, you have a question from one of our viewers tonight, Miss Cassandra Jolliffe.
Okay.
Are you able to see that question?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Let's see. Entering back into the business, looks like she's an actress looking to enter back into the business. You really just got to jump. You got to jump. Feet in. And the way you do it is really training is so important. I tell everybody, regardless of what aspect of the business you want to get involved in, educate yourself. If that's taking acting classes and network there too. So when you're taking those acting classes, ensure that you're, accepting business cards, giving out business cards, meeting people. But by doing that, it's going to give you an entryway back into the business. But also, wherever you're from, in your city, try to attend as many events as possible as well too, because you never know. You're out there, you have your headshots, your resume, your cop card. You're meeting people. They may say, "Hey, look, I need a face like yours," or would you come to our audition? So my main thing is networking and education. That's the best way to get back into the business.
Now, you founded this international film festival, the Peachtree Village International Film Festival, and I know that there are tons of networking opportunities at film festivals, and yours specifically, because I've attended. How would you say having the film festival has impacted your career as a filmmaker and producer?
Oh wow! I mean, immensely. I can't even say enough about it. The thing is, that's the whole reason I started the festival, to connect the dots between independent filmmakers and studios and other independent filmmakers. So the whole idea has been, just putting people in the right place at the right time. And
Mhm.
luckily, I've been in the right place at the right time along with everyone else. So I've been able to build a lot of relationships over the years, and it's tremendous. This is we're going into our 15th year, and every year something different happens. Meet a new relationship, and end up doing something else exciting. So it's been great. I know a lot of filmmakers, tour the filmmaker circuit, and some are not excited if they don't win or what have you. But everyone, you win if you go there and you network and you do your job in terms of meeting the right people and taking your career to the next level by putting yourself in the right place at the right time. So the festival has been fantastic for me and my career for sure.
Now, in the last couple of weeks, we've definitely seen a shift in our country
Oh
brought
yeah.
on by social justice and the protest. A part of that has been this demand and renewed interest in telling Black stories. How do you think that will impact your career?
Wow, it's already started impacting my career in a major way. I think it's interesting that it took what's happening now in the world for more people to pay attention to Black content, or to have more Black content highlighted, or to call on more Black filmmakers, because we've always been talented. We've always had great stories to tell. We're always amazing. So that's never changed. But I think now what's happening is everyone is realizing that we have a great story to tell that should be shared, because they know that everyone knows that we've been overlooked. So for me, um, all I'm doing is just working to put more stories out there. The only difference today, I think, is for me to try to give other filmmakers like myself more opportunities, because I'm receiving them, so I want to lend a helping hand to others. I tell people all the time is that put your best foot forward every day, all the time, regardless. And you have to be ready. And now is the time, right, to step up and put yourself out there, because they're calling for us. And it's Cicely Tyson said once that she only obviously took certain roles in her career as an actor because she was being offered all types of roles, the meaning roles that she wasn't excited about. So she was very selective for many years. But let me say this: now is the time for filmmakers to put the work that you're passionate about out, and today's the day to do it. I mean, kudos to those of you that's been out there writing, producing, working, during this downtime over the past, 3, 4 months. Now's your time. Put it out there, get it out there. YouTube and Google, they're offering $100 million fund, for Black artists, and you're gonna see a lot more of that, in the coming days, coming months. So you got to be ready. So today, tomorrow, now's the time.
What do you think the long-term legacy is going to be for this time? There are times that we see unrest that happens for various reasons, and there's this momentum or there's a moment of response, and then it's almost like everyone forgets because there are a lot of dollars that have been pledged, not given, but pledged. So, do you think the long-term legacy is going to be, either people don't hold up their end of the bargain, meaning their pledge, and or we go back to business as usual, particularly in entertainment?
Well, I'll say this. We won't allow that, number one, for pledges to be made and not, cashed in, because we've allowed it too long. So, as a filmmaker, and as an African American, my job is to go out there and hopefully, lead by example by, ensuring that those pledges are coming through, and we all need to do the same thing. I mean, because we're the ones that can make things happen, regardless if we're doing the pledging or receiving, we have a voice. I'll say this, every time that we have a major challenge or a major incident, in the world, that's when you see great creativity is created, and it comes out of us, right? I mean, we could think back in the 60s, the 50s, the 70s, etc. And during those times, we always say, wow, the 70s, great music. We talk about the Black exploitation era. We talk about all these great movies, all these great, books that were written, the television series that were done, so on and so forth. It all came out of something, because if nothing is happening, then there's nothing to write about. There's no story to tell. We have several stories to tell right now. So I think we're going to basically create a lot of good work. And I'm excited about that because, again, our stories need to be, in the forefront. It's so important. So I think 10 years from now, we'll look back and we'll say, wow, that was a great movie that was created and produced. I mean, I'm getting, scripts that I never would have gotten, years ago. The stories are just amazing that are coming out of people right now, and I'm really, really excited about that. And our youth, wow, they're amazing. I mean, they're creating, great content. Technology is so advanced. So I think, again, now is a great moment in time and we have to embrace it. And I'm looking forward to, seeing what happens.
Okay. Well, one of our very loyal viewers, Edwin, has a question for you.
Okay, wow. What was the first film that moved my soul? That's a really, really good question, man. I mean, it's so many films that I enjoy, but I would say moving my soul is that's a deep one. I would probably say it's a toss up between A Raisin in the Sun and Sounder.
Okay. Oh,
Okay, when I
yeah.
say the
Okay.
first film that moved my soul, I mean several have, but it will probably be one of the two. I remember watching Sounder in school, and sometimes the movies that you see in school as a child, you're like, you know what I mean? You're happy you're not doing work, you're happy you're watching a movie, but you're not enjoying the movie. But I remember, seeing Sounder was like, wow, this is a good movie. I'm enjoying it. And the same thing with Raising in the Sun. I mean, fantastic movie, fantastic play. I mean, both of those films, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I can't choose one over the other.
Okay. And you have another question about those dollars from Ron. Hey, Ron, long time no see.
You know what, Ron? That's a very, very good question because we've been, trying to get the answer to where to find, information about that $100 million fund as well too. I will say I'll have the answer tomorrow. Um, my management company, my manager is actually doing the research for my company to provide us with the details. And once I get it, I'll share it. And so you can go to my social media tomorrow, and you'll see the information there in terms of where we can go to apply, for funding or what have you, or whatever the information is. I'll share.
Now, you mentioned during this time you've been able to produce 3 projects. Can you share any details, or is that all still under wraps?
Um, a couple of them are, but I will say this. One of the films that we produced is coming out on Friday. It's a horror film. It's
Okay.
called Followed, and it's going to be in drive-in theaters across the United States on Friday, June 19th. And then it's going to go wider, June 26th, and so on and so forth. But really, really excited. It's a horror film, and this is my first time, working in that genre. So we'll see. We're excited about it. So that's one. And we did another movie, which is a faith-based film called My Brother's Keeper. We're expecting that to come out in October. And we have another film. We actually produced this film last year, but it's called Prodigal. And it's on Urban Flix right now. So go to urbanflix.com, check it out. It's called Prodigal. And we have a couple other projects that we're working on as well too. The announcements will be coming soon. So really, really excited.
Prodigal, is that with Clifton Powell?
Yes, it is. It
Okay.
is.
I do remember seeing the information go out about
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And he's a legend. He is definitely a legend.
yeah. Definitely, definitely. Very underrated legend for sure.
Yeah. So, what advice would you have for someone who is at a crossroads, particularly either in career or, hey, it's a pandemic, I might as well pursue my dream and I've always wanted to be in entertainment? What advice would you have for that person?
My advice is this: to never give up. Right. I know everyone always say, you can't quit, don't give up, but it's the truth because you never know when an opportunity is going to come. If you enjoy writing, embrace it. If you enjoy, acting, embrace it. Directing, embrace it. Like I said earlier, educate yourself. You know, it's 2020. You can take master classes. You don't necessarily have to go to a 4-year institution to learn how to produce a film today, right? I mean, Oscar Micheaux did it in 1918, and he didn't have a degree in filmmaking, right? And he produced several films and became the first, known African American filmmaker. So it's 2020. We can do it. You just can't give up because this business is full of ups and downs. It's like anything else. People, say, well, the entertainment business is so hard, but life is hard, right? Any business is hard. So for me, the best I can tell you is educate yourself and just don't give up and put yourself in the right places. One thing about filmmaking is that share the best of you, right? I know there are a lot of people that, out there that may say, well, I don't like this, I don't like that. I can think of several very successful filmmakers. I don't necessarily like their work, but they're very successful. It's something about passion and something about, I'm not going to say the universe, something about God that connects us with, what we feel inside, right? If you're excited about something, you work at it, God will do the rest. So all I can say is don't give up and put your best foot forward.
All right, you have another question from one of our viewers.
Sure.
Let's see, is that it? No. Here we go. And I think he said he was your cousin.
Yes, he is. Okay. What's going on?
Small world.
See, how do I choose my projects? Wow. How do I choose scripts? Well, it's interesting. Two ways. One, I try to choose things that I'm passionate about. Um, and I will say in the beginning, there, a lot of projects I wasn't passionate about. I just needed to work, right? But
right.
today, I try to do projects that I'm very passionate about. And sometimes that passion is not necessarily I'm trying to change the world, right? Sometimes it's just, I really like this story, or I haven't worked in this genre before and it's fun, so I want to do it to enhance my craft, right? To take my career to the next level. But we look at projects for all types of reasons. I mean, one of the things, if we're investing in a project, of course, the finances have to be right, right? It has to make sense financially, for us. And those are the things that I think that we don't think about when we're creating content, as a writer, producer, etc. By understanding that the work that we're trying to get produced has to make financial sense. So when we look at a project and you're blowing up buildings and someone says, the film is $200,000, can't look at it anymore. I mean, I can, but I'm wasting my time. They don't have any sense, in terms of the finances. There's nothing wrong with that because we all have to learn. But those are the types of things. I look at projects where I can make an impact, and people have to be ready when they present. And that's the thing. We read every script, that's submitted at some point. It may not be today, but we will get to it. And we just ask that people, put their best foot forward when they submit a project, and we review it and we try our best to get, to the next level if it makes sense.
Okay. Got another question from a viewer, Antoinette.
Okay. What's going on, Miss Antoinette? See, what's next for me and my company and what can we expect? Wow. Well, we talked about the movie Follow, which comes out on Friday. So that's like most important because we need everyone to go to the drive-in theater, right? And check it out on Friday. But one of the things that we're doing now, we're investing in print and advertising, P&A. So for those of you that are not familiar with prints and advertising, it's basically when a film goes to a theater, today is more of a digital print versus a physical print. And then the advertising, which is the marketing that you see, the billboards, the radio, the TV, all the media. We're putting a lot of emphasis in that because, unfortunately, we haven't seen a lot of us in that side of the business or on that side of the business. So we're really passionate about, ensuring that our films get the right look in theaters and digitally for that matter, because a lot of films are doing well, on VOD, online, and via streamers these days. So that's our main focus, is really focusing on the print and advertising side of the business right now, and just creating new content. We have some exciting things we're doing. We're working in a couple of different territories around the world. We are working in Africa. We're working in Malta, and we're going to be doing some work in Hungary as well too. So really, really excited about that.
Okay. You got another question.
Okay. As a filmmaker, do I think it makes a difference if you view a film on the big screen? Um, you know what? No. Well, let me answer that in two different ways. From a technical standpoint, yes, right? It does make a difference in terms of where and how you view your content. Not sure, how he's asking the question, but from a technical standpoint, if you shoot the film with a 5D, you don't want to blow it up on a big screen, right? And a 5D is a Canon camera, for those of you that don't know. But if you shoot it like on a Red camera, which is a bigger, more advanced film camera, then yes, you want to see it on a big screen because it's going to show all the beautiful colors and all that good stuff, and the images won't be blown out. But on the other side of the fence, if you're talking about from a creative standpoint, we always want to see our film in big lights. So having the film on the big screen or on television is always fantastic. I mean, everyone loves that. But I will say, it's 2020, right? Me and a colleague was having a debate the other day, and it's a television series that we were producing, and he really wants it on terrestrial television, and I'm like, let's go to streamer. Like, to me, it doesn't matter. It's 2020. The world will still see it. And I'm a cord cutter, right? I don't have cable, but I stream everything. I have Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, Amazon, all of that stuff, right? So that's me. I know everybody is not like that, but at the end of the day, everyone is watching YouTube today. Everyone is watching Hulu today, Apple TV, so on and so forth. So it doesn't matter. Let's get the content out there.
All right. One more question from Orlando.
Okay, let's see. Have you ever had to turn a project down because you were uncomfortable with it? Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. More than once. I turn projects down because I'm uncomfortable with them all the time.
Okay. You wanna you gonna give us some details, little details? I mean, I know you don't want to spill all the beans. We won't get all the tea, but
morally, there are some projects that I can't do, because of I have morals. There was a really fantastic project that I was presented last year, and I read the script at least 6 times to try to find an angle and say, well, maybe we change this or change that. We could tell the story a little different, but at the end of the day, I was like, nah, it's not gonna work. I can't have a name on it. So absolutely, there are always projects that I can't touch because of that.
Okay. Well, you all heard it here that the Peachtree Village International Film Festival this year will be virtual. So you don't have to go to Atlanta this year to be a part of the festival. Definitely want to make sure that you check in. The website for the Peachtree Village International Film Festival is PVIFFATL.com. And Len's name is also scrolling at the bottom of the screen. He did say when he gets the information on how you can plug into some of those dollars from Google and other companies who have pledged to help amplify Black stories, he's going to share.
No, I mean, to all the creatives out there, filmmakers, or whatever you're doing, in this wonderful world, just keep doing it, keep working, keep striving, don't give up. I promise you, if you just hone your craft and keep striving and do the right things right at all times. It'll work out. That's really it.
Okay.
You'll be great.
And I will, okay, I will say, I want to go on record to say, I know that what you had in the can probably won't ever air, but I still want to see that talk show. Don't Be Stupid? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, Don't Be Stupid was, man, it was, I'll say this, that was probably the most fun I've ever had. Filming that series, obviously my, deceased film partner, Tommy Ford, Tommy and I, did that series together. But I mean, I can't, well, I'll say this, we're looking at rebooting the series. It's been
Okay.
hard to really do it. Obviously I miss my brother, so it's been challenging. I can't replace him, obviously. So the goal is to try to figure out how to do it so we can you know hopefully do the right thing and still deliver great content. But yeah, Don't Be Stupid was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. It really was. Well, all right. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, especially since you've been busier now than you were even before the pandemic. We appreciate you sharing what you have coming up, as well as some great advice for creatives who may be watching.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Angela. I appreciate the time. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Okay, you too. Be blessed.
All right. Well, that is it for this Tuesday of the Angela. Just a reminder as we close out of Ray of Motivation number 54. Cleaning a mirror will not change the person who is reflected in it. Until next time, I encourage you to go out and be the change. Have a great evening.